Good morning everyone. Myself Dr. Radha Chauhan, Senior Lecturer in Department Prosthodontics and Crown and Bridge. Today we will be discussing about oral maxillofacial prosthesis. So starting with the introduction, the fabrication of extraoral prosthesis is as much as art as it is a science. The ideal constructive prosthesis must duplicate the missing facial features so precisely that the casual observer notice nothing that would draw attention to the prosthetic reconstruction. Ocular prosthesis. The goal of an ocular prosthesis procedure is to return the patient to society with a normal appearance and reasonable motility of the prosthetic eye. The disfigurement resulting from a loss of an eye can cause significant psychological as well as social consequences. However, with the advancement in ophthalmic surgery and ocular prosthesis, the ophthalmic patient can be rehabilitated very effectively. Anatomy of eye. Each eyeball is lodged in a bony socket called orbit. The eye has three coats: the outer coat of the sclera and cornea, middle of the uvea and vascular coat, inner coat of retina. Ambrose Paré, a French surgeon dentist, is considered to be pioneer of the modern artificial eye. In 1575, Paré fabricated artificial eye made up of glass as well as porcelain. Acrylic resin had replaced this material by the early in 1940. Unlike the glass eye, and an acrylic resin eye was easy to fit and adjust, unbreakable, insert to ocular fluid, aesthetically good, long lasting and easier to fabricate. Surgical consideration in ocular implants. The surgical procedure in removal of an eye are classified into three categories: evisceration, enucleation and extenduation. Evisceration, it involves removing the content of the globe but leaving the sclera and sometimes the cornea in place. Motility of the implanted eviscerated globe is excellent since the extraoral muscles are intact. Enucleation, the surgical removal of eyeball after the eye muscle and optic nerve has been severed. Extenduation, it is a removal of entire content of the orbit including the extraocular muscles. What are the materials and what are the type of ocular implants? The first material used for orbital implants was glass. Mules introduced the hollow spherical glass implant in 1884, which is still used today and preferred by many ophthalmologists. Since the time, many materials have been tried, including cartilage, fat, bone, silk, wool, aluminium, cork, ivory, vaseline and paraffin. Classification of ocular implants: they are integrated, semi-integrated or non-integrated. Integrated or non-buried implants. Ruderman introduced the first partially exposed integrated implant, but these implants had limited success due to extrusion. Migration, limited success due to extrusion. They were abandoned by 1950. Semi-integrated and buried implant consist of an acrylic resin implant with 4 protruding mounts on the anterior surface. These acrylic resin mounts on the implant protrude against the encapsulating tissues. Since the implant is buried, there is always tissue between the implant and ocular prosthesis. The keying effect of the protruding tissue molds against the ocular prosthesis provide excellent support and motility. Non-integrated or buried implant. These are buried non-integrated implant, most common method for replacing volume in the socket following enucleation or evisceration. Ocular impression. When the surgical site is well healed and dimensionally stable, fabricated on an ocular prosthesis can begin. A thorough examination of the enucleated socket must be ensure proper healing and absence of socket. Lignocaine is used as a surface anesthetic to reduce the irritability of the mucosa while taking the impression. Impression of the socket is made with ophthalmic irreversible hydrocolloid in conjunction with a suitable impression tray. Stock acrylic resin impression tray have a hollow handle which accommodate an impression syringe. Alginate material may be injected directly into the socket. The patient is seated in an erect position with the head tilted backward at approximately 45 degrees while the socket is being filled with the impression materials. Once filled, the head is moved back to the vertical position and patient is directed to move their eyes both up and down. This will facilitate the flow of impression material into all aspects of the socket. After the material sets, the cheek, nose and eyebrow region are massaged to break the seal. While the patient gazes upward, the cheek is pulled down and inferior portion of the impression is rotated out of the socket. The impression is checked for accuracy and voids. Preparation of the cast. The impression is poured in 2 sections with dental stone. First post stone is coated with a separating medium such as tin foil substitute and allowed to dry. The second half of the mold is poured with a dental stone, leaving funnel shaped hole around the stem of the tray. The hole will be used as a funnel to fill mold with a molten wax. After the dental stone is set, the two halves of the mold are separated and impression material is removed. Wax pattern. Ivory inlay wax is used for wax pattern. After the wax has melted, it is poured through the funnel shaped hole into the assembled mold. After the wax has cooled, the mold is opened and the wax pattern has smooth and polished. Then it is ready to try it in the eye socket. The wax pattern will feel comfortable to the most patient, but in some instances it may cause mild irritation. The wax will not move as freely as the finished acrylic resin process, but the application of ophthalmic lubricant will aid movement. Pressure points or areas of discomfort should be noted and relieved as necessary. Iris position. The wax pattern is inserted in socket and patient instructed to look straight ahead as a distant point using the companion eye for comparison. The dot was placed with red ink in the location of the center of the pupil. A circle was marked representing the iris area. A thin layer approximately 0.5 to 1 mm of wax from this marked area was removed and iris corneal button were placed over there and margins were flushed. Selection of the iris component. Ocular discs which are used in the iris painting are available in half millimeter size increments ranging from 11 to 13 millimeter. They come in black or clear either with or without pupil apparatus. Fabrication of the sclera. Wax sclera is now ready to be invested. After filling the lower portion of the flask with dental stone, stone is carefully vibrated on the posterior surface of the wax pattern. Wax pattern is laid on top of the stone in the flask, taking care not to entrap air. After the stone has set, it is coated with a separating medium such as tin foil substitute. Then the flask is reassembled. The upper half of the flask is filled with dental stone and the flask lid is placed on the top to close the mold. After the stone has set, the flask is separated by the gently firing it apart. Wax pattern is lifted out and mold is checked for voids. After the mold is clean, a coat of tin foil substitute is applied on both sides. Then white scleral acrylic resin is packed into the mold with the compression method. Painting the iris and sclera. There are 5 basic components to painting the iris, namely the pupil, base color, the detail, colorate and limbus. Iris painting is usually completed in 2 stages. First is the basic color of the body of iris. Then the base color is usually blue, grey, green, black or combination of these colors. Then second of the monopoly syrup is applied to the painted surface of the iris disc and allowed to dry. Adhering the painting disc in the corneal button and processing. To adhere the painting disc to the corneal button, a disc is placed on the flat surface with painted side up. 1 or 2 drops of monopoly is applied to the painted surface immediately. Corneal button is positioned on the top of painted disc and pressed down lightly until excess monopoly is forced out and the corneal button is seated firmly on the disc. The assembly is allowed to dry for about 30 minutes. Now the corneal button is ready to be inserted into the mold. The sclera polymer is mixed with monomer. Once the acrylic resin is in the dough stage, it is added to the top of button and 2 halves of the flask pressed together under pressure. The processing is done. Scleral and second iris painting. After processing and removal, reduction of the anterior curvature of the prosthesis is done to allow room for scleral and second iris painting. Reduction is approximately 1 mm and done by pear-shaped bud. After smoothing of the reduced surface of layer of polymer is applied and allowed to dry, now prosthesis is ready for painting. Spokes of the iris are painted by using either a small brush or flaring the hair of the large brush. The colorate, which is circular area or starburst found around the outside border of the pupil, is painted with a lighter, brighter color of the body of iris. Finally, the limbus is added to the area at the junction of iris and sclera. It is usually a combination of grey and iris body color. Next step is sclera painting, and natural sclera has veins present at their usually apparent in both nasal and temporal corners of the eye. Red cotton fibers are used to replicate the veins. Then the fibers separated and cut from commercially available threads. The pattern of the natural eye are copied by taking fiber sclera with a brush of monomer. The color found in the sclera are usually yellow and blue or combination. Once completed, a coat of monopoly is applied to the sclera. Then the final processing, it is done by clear heat cured resin. The eye is placed in the tissue side of the mold, anterior curvature facing up. Acrylic resin dove is placed on the painted surface. After processing and removal of surface is smooth with a fine white stone and polished with a floor of pumice. The delivery of the prosthesis, the prosthetic eye is washed with soap and water, and a drop of 2 or ophthalmic lubricant on the surface of prosthesis will facilitate insertion. After insertion, eye are examined for aesthetic appearance and degree of movement by instructing the patient to perform the movement in various directions. Necessary adjustment were carried and prosthesis was finished, polished and inserted. Thank you.